Hello.
Hey.
We are in the off week,
Mm.
the Pro Bowl week, right? They still do the Pro Bowl this week.
I mean, does it matter?
I don't know. Yeah, it used to be more entertaining to me. I haven't really watched it in a few years, but my son's getting into it, and so I don't know. He mentioned something about it, so we might try to turn it on. I don't even know what. It's just like super spread out, and there's all sorts of different things, right? And it's just like is it like a draft for like the
Yeah,
teams?
they have messed with the format recently. I haven't paid attention to it, but there's like the skills competition too, right? They do the QB throw stuff and the agility drills, and it's kind of like the NBA All-Star game. There's all kinds of circus around it.
Yeah, so I guess I could see why it would be entertaining to a 9-year-old
Yes.
a lot more than an adult who's
Mhm.
used to like a real game that matters, where kids just like to play any game that seems fun. So
Yeah.
maybe we'll turn it on. Maybe I've been missing out on so much the last few years and I'm just gonna hate myself for it. But okay, so the Patriots won the Snow Bowl. And the
10-7.
Seahawks outlasted the Rams.
So if Bo Nix starts that game, does Denver win?
I don't know. Like sometimes I like to play that game, but
Yeah.
it just change. Like so much changes, right? Because then they prepped for Bo Nix, and it's not like Bo Nix has been so good the
Not in
whole
MVP
year, and
conversation. Yeah.
and I and the Patriots. If Nix is playing, the Patriots absolutely don't just run the ball every single down, right? They were not. They had no fear of Stidham scoring against them at the end, so they ran it and they punted it and they made sure they didn't fumble, right? So
Yeah.
that part definitely changes. I think the Patriots, if they absolutely had to, could have scored more points. So, but yeah, I don't know. It would have been a more
Better game?
yeah, like think about the snow and like teams actually trying to like move the ball in the snow, right? That's more fun
Sure.
than running it up the middle and
Yeah.
you know, I don't know.
More fun too, better storyline, right? Because those quarterbacks are from the same draft class, both competing for their first Super Bowl. Just a
Yeah, for
better all the
sure.
way around.
Yeah. Um, Speaking of draft class, so
Ooh,
Darnold is the
yes.
first one from his to make
2018.
the Super Bowl.
Yes. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and Baker Mayfield all in that draft class.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Darnold. He's been really good, but yeah, like if you have a number one defense in the NFL, like you're
Yep.
gonna you're gonna be
Could be
good.
okay. Could
Yeah,
be okay,
you're gonna
probably. Yeah.
make it a ways.
Yep. Yep.
So our picks weren't good. You were 1-1. I was 0-1. Um, I don't know. Like you had the Patriots. They win but don't cover, so it was close. You did hit the Seahawks. They were
Four. They won by
I don't
four.
know. Right. So the muff punt changed that game a lot, and then after the muff punt, the Rams did start scoring, and I mean they had a chance to take the lead with 5 minutes left, right? The 3rd and 4 from the 8, and two chances, and they couldn't get in. There's a lot of talk about like McVay and um, Peyton not kicking field goals when they had the chance. And I don't know if I've said it a lot on this, but I was literally saying this before the weekend to someone. I'm like, I think it's gone too far where coaches are going for it on 4th down too much, and it's going to come back to like, okay, it still makes sense to go for it a lot, but at some point, if you have a good defense and you can get three and get three and get three, like for example, if the Rams just kick a field goal there, right? It's 4th and 4. Like it's not 4th and 1. Like you just kick a field goal, you're down 1, right? So granted, the Seahawks did end up running out the clock, but they needed 3 or 4 first downs to do it. So you're down 1. Now, even if the Seahawks go get a field goal, then you still have a chance, right, for a touchdown. Or if you do make them punt, you only need a field goal, right? And guess what? They punt and give them 25 seconds. Okay, 25 seconds needing a field goal versus needing a touchdown is not even in the same realm. It's such a different, you know.
Especially when you can make a field goal from 55 yards. You got people kicking them from 60 now, right?
Yeah,
You don't even
Mevis.
You don't even have to cross midfield, right? So it's so fucking hard. It's a great question because there were several games, even the Rams game with the Bears loss, right? Like there was an early play. Well, maybe confusing. I'm pretty sure there's an early play in the first half of that game where they went for it on fourth down and they were well within field goal range and they didn't get it, and they lose by a field goal or they lose by a field goal. They needed those 3 points. They needed those 3 points. Fucking the Broncos needed those 3 points. So it's like it's weird to say that one second quarter decision is the catalyst for whether you're going to win or lose the entire game. But boy, looking back, it does just fucking suck.
Right. So I just looked something up, and this is StatMuse, and I don't know that it's always accurate, but I'm going to trust it in this moment. So I typed in least fourth down attempts in field goal range in 2025, and guess who's number one? Well, it's a Super Bowl team, the Seahawks.
Yeah.
So, again,
really interesting list,
really good
actually.
Defense. If you have a really good defense, yeah, you can kick the field goals all day, and you're confident, right? Like it's a different situation. But Seahawks are number one, Patriots are 12. So both teams are top half of the league. Both teams that made it. Also, Texans, Broncos, Eagles, Chargers, Niners, and Packers are all in the top 11, which are all playoff teams, right? Teams.
Where's the Bears?
Yeah.
18. All right,
Bears
that's
are
not as bad
18.
as I thought. Dude, Bills, Chiefs. That shocks me that the Bills were that aggressive. I guess I didn't pay enough attention to Bills football this year.
Right. And the Rams were aggressive, that whatever, maybe
We knew the Lions were going to be.
bit them a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, I really don't know if it is going to skew. I feel like a lot of coaches are still just like, let's go for it if it's 4th and 1, 4th and 2. But I don't know. Like, so many games come down to one possession, and if you could have kicked 2 more field goals or whatever, like, yeah.
You could have won both those games.
You can argue it either way, right? So,
You can. But again, it's just like, when you're in that second quarter or the early first quarter, and you really want to go for it, and then you miss that field goal, or you don't take the opportunity, and you don't have those 3 points, and then you lose by 3 points.
yeah.
That's fucked, man.
Right. So
That's why they get paid the big bucks.
Yeah.
Make those decisions.
Yep, and then get fired after 1 year because they
didn't
made
make
those
them good
decisions.
enough.
But even if they made the other decisions, they still get fired.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter.
They don't, but they still have millions of dollars. That's like, maybe they should have to give it back.
Yeah, I think so. Hey, guess what?
What?
Mike McCarthy has a job.
So, like, this is the Mike McCarthy, Mike Tomlin conversation is fascinating. It is so fascinating. They're almost identical statistically as head coaches
I don't think I knew that.
in terms of wins, like just overall winning percentage, playoff victories, Super Bowl wins. They played each other in the Super Bowl, and McCarthy beat Tomlin's last Super Bowl. McCarthy only made the one. Tomlin made 2. He's 1-1.
They're both named Mike.
They're both named Mike. One is defense, one is offense. But other than that, like remarkably similar coaching trajectories. And after those Super Bowl appearances, long 10 years of not great playoff success. Both guys, not great playoff success recently.
Yeah, I would love to have been a fly on the wall in the interview with McCarthy because, like, what could he possibly have said to get them to say, "Yep, you're the guy"? Like,
Is he the next 20 years? Like they've had 3 coaches for the last 60 years. Is Mike McCarthy like 20
how old
years?
is he?
He's probably close to 60, if not in his 60s, right?
Right. I don't know. I mean, whatever. It's interesting, I guess. It gives us something to talk about. So we'll talk about the coaching carousel a little bit because we only have one game to talk about. And then next week, we might come up with something to discuss. We don't know yet. Maybe we'll shift to a little college basketball, which is heating up.
College basketball.
We'll see. But
Purdue just lost again. 3 straight.
Yep.
Yeah, see, look. They're very, very similar
We're
stuff.
taking a look at Tomlin and McCarthy's records and whatnot, and they're like the same person basically. So.
I mean, it's like I'm looking at it. I'm like, which one's which? I can't tell.
Are they like the same age too? Probably.
I would. That's a great question. I think it
McCarthy's
has to
got to
be.
be older.
Yeah, because Tomlin came in young. He was like one of those like mid-30s guys.
Yeah, he was a coordinator for the Vikings for like a couple years, and then I think he
Yes.
went straight to the Steelers. But
Yeah, so he's 62. McCarthy's 62, and I think Tomlin's only in his 50s. Yeah, Tomlin's 53.
yeah.
53, bro. He's only he's only 6.5 years older than I am. Shit.
And he's been coaching in the NFL for 41 years.
A lot of success. That's a guy who does not have to go back to coaching. That guy's got nothing to prove. Here's what McCarthy doesn't have, right? He may have had 3 straight 12-win seasons in Dallas that went nowhere. Tomlin never had a losing season. Never had a losing season. I mean, that's legendary shit, man.
Yeah,
Legendary shit.
how do you never have a losing season? But like, how many times did he win 12 or 13 games too?
Yeah,
Like,
that's the problem. Probably
like
not very
once?
many. Yeah, I don't. And then playoff victories too, right? So he made the playoffs almost every year, but was like first out almost all the time. You know, he was 7 seed, 6 seed, bounced. 8 times, I think. 8 straight playoff losses
that's pretty
in
good.
the first round.
Yeah. It's tough to flip a coin the wrong way 8 times, but okay. Let's go to that game everyone's talking about called the Super Bowl. So we'll do the Super Bowl real quick, and then we'll talk about some coaching stuff,
Yeah.
and then we'll see what happens. Might be a short one, or maybe we'll get off on a tangent and really
Boom.
rip it up. Okay, so so it's the Seahawks against the Patriots in Santa Clara.
Whoop.
I said Seahawks 5.5.
I went 3.5. I think it's 4.5. Or 5 maybe now.
Oh, the old tie ski, huh?
I don't know. I think it might be
4.5. I opened at 5. All right, so we obviously tie that. A lot of people are probably wondering why it's that high towards the Seahawks. The Seahawks have been favored fairly decently the last few weeks, and they keep covering. I mean, they ever since like, I don't know, 6 weeks ago or so, they have been ranked as one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the NFL. If you looked at like any sort of advanced like ranking system. So it makes sense, right? Like you have to base the odds on who's actually good when you break it down. The Patriots are still a good team, but I think they're like maybe like the Seahawks are 1 and the Patriots are like, I don't know, 5 or 6 or something like that maybe. So yeah, I guess it's more than a field goal, less than a touchdown, neutral site. I feel like a lot of people are going to like the Patriots because it's sort of like the anything can happen. They're both good teams, right? Like take them, which you can't blame them. But I don't know. You have a week off, anything can happen. I do sort of agree with that. What do you think?
I like Vrabel, man. He's a cagey ass motherfucker.
Vrabel in the big game.
He did. So I was going to send you this, but then I'm not sure if you're on TikTok, so I didn't. This TikTok clip of Vrabel, right? He's in the press conference. This is after the game or whatever, after they won the AFC Championship game. And some reporters like, so what are you going to do to minimize distractions with your players? Are you going to tell them to not look at their phones or this? And Vrabel's like, yeah, I'm going to tell them to not look at their phones. That'll work.
Yeah, he's like,
you guys.
I might try that.
Yeah, he was like, it was the biggest dad answer in the world. He's like, yeah, we'll get a lot of traction with that, asshole. I just think Vrabel, I don't know, man. I just think he's a good fucking coach. He came out. The weird thing about him too is that when he was hired in Tennessee, he was not like this long. I mean, he had, storied-ish NFL career, 3 Super Bowls, Patriots, blah blah blah. But he didn't spend a lot of time as a coordinator, as like an assistant coach. He was just one of those guys that was like just a NFL player and then kind of jumped into the coaching ranks, and it was just great, like right from jump. And I don't know. I just feel like that gives them an edge for whatever reason. He's wily.
Yeah. So on that point, like you see a lot of coaches try to call the plays, whether it's offense or defense, head coaches, and it just seems like they get strung out and they focus less on the actual head coaching aspect. Where Vrabel, I don't know. I doubt he calls the defense. I'm pretty sure he doesn't, but he just a leader, right? Like he knows how to, like he's a people person, right? Like he's like closer to his players than
Yes.
most, if not all, coaches.
Yeah.
So like he bonds with them. He knows how to motivate them. Like they're always ready, and then he just delegates everything that, like, he gets good people under him, right? That can do all the, I'll say, grunt work. But that's what it takes to like actually be a really good head coach. Like you don't have to call the plays if you have someone who can run what you want to run, or just basically do what you want to do, and you trust them with it. So I don't know. It's just like other coaches should maybe take some notes on that and not try to have control over so many things, but just kind of managing the overall picture, I think, is kind of the key there.
We need to put a pin in that when we talk about the Giants and the Harbaugh hire, because that's supposedly what you're getting with John Harbaugh, right? That's what they talk about when you get that CEO level coach, right?
Like he's a Vrabel type, you're saying?
Yeah, the guy who's not running the defense, he's not running the offense, he just sits over everything and is in charge and is supposed to be making those head coaching decisions, the timeouts, the 2-minute management, that sort of thing. Yeah, prep and all of that, but I don't know. I mean, obviously you can't undercut what McDonald has done in Seattle. Pete Carroll was a good coach there for a long time. They weren't terrible when he was fired, but they weren't great either. But the Seattle looks, really fucking good.
Yeah,
and that defense especially.
I mean, Patriots Seahawks. That's what everyone thought was going to happen before the season, right? Like
it's Patriots Seahawks
Super Bowl. So I just looked this up quick because obviously neither one of these teams were even in the conversation for really a playoff spot to start the season. So the Seahawks, according to this, just AI, but Seahawks were like 60-1 at the start of the season to win the Super Bowl, and the Patriots were greater than that. I think the Patriots over/under win total was like 6.5 maybe. The Seahawks, I think, was maybe slightly higher, but they were both expected to not be playoff teams, right? So,
I mean, the Seahawks last year were a competitive team. I don't think they were a playoff team, but they were competitive right into the last few weeks of the season, where they were competing for a playoff spot. But the Patriots were dog shit, right? They were 4-13 last year. And you didn't know what you had, right? You didn't know what you had in the Patriots coming into the season. And where you may have known that Vrabel was a good coach, you didn't know how long it was going to take him to fix whatever was going on in New England, because they weren't just shitty last year. They had been shitty for like 3 or 4 years. How long was it going to take somebody to untangle that? The question is not very long. Not very long at all.
Well, yeah, I mean, I had no idea like how good their defense could be. I mean, they're definitely a top 10 defense. That would have been like, in retrospect, you try to go back and like think like, could we have seen this coming? Like, yeah, I guess people who know how good their defense could have been and like followed their free agent signings and all that probably knew that their defense was going to be pretty good. It wasn't so crazy to think that Drake May was going to have a good season. He showed so much progress the last half of last season when he got starts. So like that was sort of obvious. I mean, Vrabel he had the Titans as a 1 seed in the playoffs. So like
with Ryan Tannehill as quarterback,
obviously you knew that it was possible for him to do it. But yeah, again, this quick, I guess, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, like it really does make sense. And then the Seahawks. So this is McDonald's second year?
I think so. I thought last year was his first year.
Right. So I don't remember how many games. I think they won
8 or 9
games with Geno Smith, right?
Yep.
So I guess we should have known that McDonald was going to be a good coach if he could do that with that. Darnold was a little bit of a question mark, but like what he did in the regular season last year with the Vikings, I guess it makes sense that he would be.
He still won 10 games last year.
Seahawks did?
Yeah.
So, like, I guess we need to predict the teams that are going to be like this next year.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's no question. Like, who's going to have that turnaround? Can I put money on not the Browns?
Yeah, they don't even have a coach. Maybe they're just going to let you put your name in a hat if you're a fan, and like you get to call the plays for a game, or like.
Dude, could it be worse? Like, could it be worse? Maybe they do a thing where like fans text in the plays like real time.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Right? Like, why not have a coach? Just crowdsource all the decisions.
I like it. So, on that note, the Browns, as far as we know, don't have a coach. The Raiders don't have a coach, and the Cardinals don't have a coach.
No coach.
I'm trying to think.
Ditka.
I mean, the Browns and the Raiders are definitely two shitty jobs. And then I guess the Cardinals is kind of a shitty job because that division tends to be very competitive.
Yes. Very competitive. But so for the Raiders, is that, I mean, yes, foundationally it seems shitty, but I guess some of that is how much do you like Fernando Mendoza? Like, if you like him a lot, then that job becomes way less shitty. Right. I think.
I mean, he clearly has his head in the right place, and he's deadly accurate.
Big guy.
A lot of guys that you say that about don't translate to the NFL. It's
very true.
It's hard to like know for sure, but yeah, I mean, you got to think that that's a pretty good job. I don't know if you can keep Crosby around. He seemed like he was a little disgruntled, but
he was pissed. Well, I don't think he liked the way his end of the season was handled, and they kind of just shut him down. I think he just still wanted to play, but yeah, who knows? But at the same time, it's like he's a great player. Maybe he should be a great player on another team, right? If you're in a rebuild like the Raiders clearly are, you probably want to do more with that offense right now. Like, I don't think their offensive line was very good, so it seems to me if you're drafting a quarterback, build a wall around him.
Right. Who does Tom Brady have like a connection with that could be a head coach? Like, there's got to be some sort of, he's got to have a lot of say in this, right?
So again, TikTok rumors, this is the only thing I eat nowadays, says that he is now very heavily involved in this process, given what happened last year. But I had thought he had input into the Pete Carroll hire. So what does that say?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that didn't turn out very good at all. So he's not a magic bullet, clearly, and we have seen a lot of times where professional athletes are not great executives. I mean, Michael Jordan may be the greatest example of that, where he just was not very good, and in fact quite bad at being the executive of the Bobcats, now Hornets. Not everybody's Jerry West.
Right. How long? I don't remember this from year to year. How long do these vacancies tend to like stay open? Like, usually, like a couple weeks after the Super Bowl, like everything's filled, right? It doesn't stay open that long, does it?
It depends. You got to start to wonder: are these teams targeting people who are on the Seahawks staff or the Patriots staff? Because that would be one reason to not hire somebody, because you can't hire these guys while they're in the middle of a Super Bowl run.
So McDaniels clearly, I don't think is ever going to be a head coach again. Josh. And I don't know who's their defensive coordinator. I don't even know.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Probably not him. And then the Seahawks. I mean, McDonald calls the defense, but that doesn't mean they wouldn't want to have his D coordinator who has been in the brain of McDaniel for a couple years.
And ideally is responsible for installing it, right? Like, from taking that plan and ensuring that the defense itself is structured and educated enough to run it. Like, there has to be something there, right? Like,
and then Kubiak.
Oh yeah.
For the Seahawks, offensive coordinator.
Yes.
Certainly could be. I mean, he's
a guy.
He's a top 5 play caller, I would say. Like, when you think you know what someone's going to run in a crucial situation, like, he always seems to dial up a really good play. And he's young too. I always say, like, take a chance on the young guy, because if you get it right, you got him for 30 years if you want it.
Tomlin, Tomlin,
Yeah.
look at him. And, legacy, his dad was a successful NFL head coach.
Right,
He's going somewhere. He's got to go somewhere. Like
right. So which one of these, he's offensive mind, right? So like Mendoza,
Raiders. Yeah, man, that feels like the most natural fit for him, right? Wouldn't you want?
but isn't Shador better than Mendoza?
I will say the jury is out on that.
We'll see next year, right?
Yeah, let's see them put it on the field.
And then the Cardinals, I don't even know. Like, they got rid of Gannon. I don't even know if it was Gannon's decision to bench Murray. I assume it was.
Yeah.
Is Murray like? I remember the middle of the season where like, there's no way Murray plays another down for the Cardinals, right? I think we said that, sort of.
I think
But
everybody was kind of saying
maybe
that.
with Gannon gone, they're still committed to Murray. I have no idea.
I don't know.
Kyler Murray situation. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see. They shut him down. Yeah, we know that. Potential trade or release due to his high cap hit. So that means they would not trade him because they'd have a high cap hit, right? Yeah, I don't know. So who knows?
I mean, at this point, even if you're drafting somebody, you're starting over, you still need somebody to start. And sometimes starting your rookie isn't the best idea. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, but there's nothing wrong with having a backup.
Was Kingsbury the head coach in Arizona for what, 1 year, 2 years?
No, he was there for 3, I think.
And did he have Murray under him?
Yes.
What if he comes back and they fire it up again?
Yeah, God, that feels like forever ago. You're right. Like, now I do wonder. Maybe it was only 2 seasons. But yes, he was there. But he's no longer. Where did he end up going? Because he's not the OC in Washington anymore.
No, they mutually parted ways. I think he wanted to seek a head coaching job, and then I don't know. Who knows what happened? It was a little weird that he basically stepped down or whatever.
He was there for 4 seasons, 2019 through 2022.
With the Cardinals?
Yeah.
I would have.
I
would have said under, absolutely. But anyway, so I guess he would be a name that's out there. So let's go through this quick. The Bills hired Joe Brady. So now they got the young guy and the offensive mind instead of the old guy in the defensive mind.
Promoted Joe Brady because he was their OC, which has to stick a little bit in McDermott's craw, I would think.
Yeah. The Cardinals is still open, like we said. The Chargers, they added McDaniel as their offensive coordinator.
Does he also play O-line?
Yeah, I think so. He's kind of a big guy.
I feel like that was their bigger need.
Who's the Chargers defensive coordinator? Minter went to the Ravens, right?
Yeah, so I don't know if they've named anybody yet. Oh, they haven't.
Yeah, so no defensive coordinator in LA. So Minter is the Ravens head coach. McCarthy went to the Steelers. We talked about that. The Browns don't have one. The Raiders don't have one. The Dolphins hired Halfley, the DC for the Packers. The Titans, Saleh, which is interesting. I did think he deserved another head coaching job, but I don't know that I would have guessed he went to the Titans.
It's a weird pick because you're trying to develop a young QB. And I think one of the things that defensive coordinators who become head coaches have shown, at least recently, is they're really bad at developing young QBs. They don't seem to know how to do it very well. Certainly, Saleh did not have great success with the quarterback position in New York, but the Jets are kind of crap garbage, so I do think you kind of have to write off a lot of what happens for anybody's tenure in New York. I mean, look at Sam Darnold, but this just felt like a weird one. I don't know. He's a good DC, I guess, but this just felt like a really poor fit.
Yeah.
They're still trying to catch the ghost of Vrabel. It's going to hunt that franchise for a minute, I think.
Yeah. I mean, the Titans, did Saleh just take the only one that would hire him? Because, that doesn't seem like the job that anyone should want.
No, the Bills job felt like a better fit for a guy like Saleh, right? You don't have to solve the QB position. That's there. You get somebody to sort of own the offense, and then you got to fix the defense. And the defense was problematic, right? Like, again, they were the worst run defense in the league, or like the second worst, which is you're not going to win a chance. It's just that was a failure on the part of McDermott, who was the head coach. You can't do that. You just can't. And I know that you talk about Allen's play in that game. That's fine, but I don't know. I thought McDermott was on the hot seat for a long time. I think it made sense that he was gone. The Brady hire makes sense for Buffalo, but Saleh in Tennessee just feels weird.
Yeah. Who knows? The weird sometimes turns into good, weirdly. But yeah, I mean, he's got to find someone to work with the quarterback. That they got to figure out a way to, make that work. But
Cam Ward did not finish the season he didn't finish his season like Drake May finished his rookie season. By the end of it, people were like, "Oh yeah, Drake May." That's why Vrabel went to the Patriots, because he thought Drake May was going to be great. I don't think there was anybody who was, and maybe Cam Ward will be, but I don't think anybody was sitting at the end of this season being like, "Fucking watch out for Cam Ward next year."
There were flashes, but he didn't ever string anything together.
No. And so you need somebody to come in and bring that out of him. And is that Saleh? Like, this just feels like just another dumb move by the Titans.
Yeah. Although I guess when Saleh got fired, that was when Rodgers was there, right? So maybe they're saying, it seemed like in New York that Rodgers had a lot of control over things and Saleh was just kind of a puppet. But so maybe they're saying, okay, now this is your show, and maybe that came up in the interview. Who knows? But
yeah, and but I guess the thing is, it's like if you're supposed to be a fucking leader, a leader of men, as the head coach, you can't lose a power struggle to Aaron Rodgers. And I get Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, but if you're the head coach, you got to be. And that's I think
unless the management was stepping in too. But
yes, but again, it's his job to overcome all that bullshit and produce on the field, and he didn't. And I don't know. And look, Rodgers is problematic, but manage that as the head coach. Marshal your strength and fucking get the job done. I don't know. It just felt like, I don't know. This podcast turning into a love letter to Mike Vrabel, but that doesn't happen to Mike Vrabel. I don't think it does, right? Like, I don't think.
Oh no, he would probably step down before.
Well, and maybe
let that happen.
Yeah, but sometimes discretion is the better part of valor. So I would respect that decision too, right? Rather than banging your head against the wall, if you want to walk. But yeah, I don't know. This just feels really like we're going to be talking about head coaching vacancies in Tennessee again in a couple of years.
All right. Stefanski to the Falcons. So here's the question I have. Stefanski and Cousins were in Minnesota together. Stefanski was the OC, I believe, had complete control over the play calling. So Kirk Cousins played better than Penix when they were both healthy. There was no question about that. So what I wonder is, well, first of all, let's do a little research here. So when is Penix expected to return?
I mean, it's another knee injury. He's had 5 knee injuries.
Right. So ACL in November, they're saying, let's just say 9 months. So what does that get us to August? So I guess theoretically he could be ready for the start, but is it a competition? Is Stefanski basically saying Cousins gets the Penix is someone I'm very
disappointed in? Excited about?
Excited about Falcons. I don't know. Apparently Stefanski is excited about Penix, and I think Cousins is still under contract.
Yeah.
I don't know. My mind goes to, let's just make it a quarterback competition. Whoever's better plays. To me, if Cousins played the whole year, the Falcons are a playoff team. They missed it
They win that division.
They ended up 9-8, right?
No,
Remember, it was
no.
the three-way tie.
Oh, yeah, it could have been 9-8 because the Panthers, I think, were 7-10 or whatever. Didn't they have or
No.
they were 8-9, weren't they?
Maybe 8-9.
Yeah.
Mm,
I thought they had a losing record.
or 9-8.
We're gonna find out. Regardless,
Yeah, 8-9. They were all
8-9.
three 8-9. So one more win, everything else constant. The Falcons make the playoffs. The way Cousins played down the stretch, I mean, he turned Kyle Pitts into an absolute monster. Like, they probably should have made the playoffs. I don't know. Like, it just Cousins isn't 25 years old, but at some point you got to play the guy who gives you the best chance to win. So we'll see what happens there. And then
Stefanski is an interesting coach because he's an offensive guy, and they never got the quarterback right in Cleveland when he was there. The best they did was when Joe Flacco was their QB. So I mean, I like he needs to figure that thing out. That's his job. That's every head coach's job. And it's sort of mystifying what happened in Cleveland because he did seem to know what he was doing, Stefanski. You can say that the Deshaun Watson thing, like he was hampered by that, and that was ownership. But he had this past draft to do something with a quarterback, right? And he had Shedeur Sanders and he had Dylan Gabriel, and neither one of them blossomed under his tutelage. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens in Atlanta, but maybe just more 8-9. Feels like feels like what's going to happen there.
Man, that'd be such a waste of Bijan Robinson.
Would. Well, maybe not. Maybe he is able to just bring energy to that offense outside of the QB position, and just the most electric running back in the NFL or the top, one of two.
Right. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, he seemed to get gobbled up pretty quick.
Oh yes.
So obviously, people still think highly of him.
Yes. I feel like he would have had his pick of these jobs. So he must like Penix, or there must be something within the infrastructure of Atlanta that was appealing to him. Like, because again, why not just target the Titans? They've got that number one prospect there. Something must. He must see value in Atlanta that I just don't. Maybe it is
Bijan Stefanski.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, like it's a more of a win now sort of a team. Like, is anyone picking the Titans to like make the playoffs next year?
No.
Like, no, but the Falcons absolutely could. It's not like the Bucks were great or the Panthers.
How did that head coach keep his job? Raheem Morris.
He didn't.
No.
Or wait, what do you mean?
No. Todd Bowles, the guy in.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. We've talked about that a little bit a couple times. I don't get it either. Like,
just because the NFL said we can't have 11 coaching vacancies, so you got to keep Todd Bowles.
I don't know, and it's not like he was the one. It's not like he was the head coach when they won their Super Bowl, right? Like he was the D coordinator.
Yeah, it was Bruce Arians.
Yeah, who knows? There's something that they like there that everyone else doesn't see. But
and then that collapse deserved further examination. The Colts got a lot of scrutiny, but Baker didn't break his leg. Why did they lose like 8 of their last 10 or whatever?
Well, Evans was out for what? Total, probably 7 weeks, probably half the season, almost half the season.
What about that rookie guy? Everybody in Jigwe, or like he didn't get injured, did he?
Ibuka?
Yes.
No, he was in there most of the time. I think Godwin was in and out of the lineup. Bucky Irving did get hurt a decent amount. I don't know about but yeah, I mean, like their defense just like didn't play as well as it should play. Right?
Bowles is a defensive guy.
Yeah, I don't know. The last one we haven't talked about much is Harbaugh with the Giants. So we talked about how the Seahawks and the Patriots were 60-1 or more to win the Super Bowl before the season, but then like, could we have seen this coming? And the answer is kind of like maybe, yeah. So is this one of those situations where Harbaugh comes in, he's got Dart, he's got Neighbors, he's got Scattaboo, he knows how to coach a football team, like Dable, like seemed to do a lot of, like he didn't do the little things right, like he didn't just really didn't know how to manage a team.
Seemed like a dumb
It
meathead
seemed
coach.
like, yeah.
You know.
So you've got the star players. I don't know that. I think the Giants had some problems on their offensive line, definitely. Their defense was bad, but their defense, I think, was good last year or 2 years ago, like solid, like maybe top 10. And he brings the defensive mind. So, like, the defense is definitely going to be better under him, you'd think. And then I don't who's his offensive
So I
coordinator?
think it's still open because I thought that they are waiting on Todd Monken to make a decision of whether or not he gets a head coaching. Well, if Todd Monken gets hired as a head coach, he goes to be a head coach. I think if not, I think he becomes the OC in
Yeah, so like
New York.
both units there definitely get better. Now the Giants were terrible, right? They won like
Yeah.
3 games, but
4 games, something like that.
I don't know. Like the Cowboys' defense was horrible. Who knows what's going to happen there? The Eagles had a down year compared to what they're used to, and the
And everybody
Commanders.
hates each other there.
Commanders had a horrible year. Like, was Daniels' rookie year kind of more of a little bit lucky? Like,
And
is
you
he
got
going
a
to
new
recreate
OC?
that? So, like, I wouldn't be super surprised if the Giants like win this division next year. That's going
Wow.
out on a limb, but like, if things come together, like they have the pieces, obviously. They just need the defense needs to get better, the offensive line, so they need to probably draft well or do well in free agency. But like a coach that's been around for 100 years probably knows how to do those things. So I don't know.
So here's the thing though. Harbaugh had all of those pieces in Baltimore, and they didn't do nothing. I mean, not really, and it ended in acrimony and finger pointing, and it's sort of like, was it Harbaugh the problem or was it Lamar Jackson the problem? And clearly, Baltimore picked Harbaugh as the problem. I think this goes back to the conversation we're having about Vrabel and being the CEO type or the executive leader head coach as opposed to offense or defensive specialist. Is what are the measure of success for that head coach, right? If you can't put the offense on him, you can't put the defense on him. What are you measuring? Like wins, season success, penalties, in-game management, late-game management. And if you look at Harbaugh, like fantastic late-game collapses over multiple seasons. One of the most penalized teams over multiple seasons in terms of penalty yards. Unable to bring his locker room together and forge success, alienated or had some sort of issues with his QB. Like, what is good about that? Like, I ultimately, like, he had lots of great records, but was not able to have playoff success. Did he even make an AFC Championship game? I don't think he did with Lamar Jackson. So it feels like the things that you want out of that CEO type coach were a little bit absent in Baltimore. So how do you replicate that in a situation whose foundation is worse? I don't know. It would not surprise me if the Giants had a mediocre season next year and we get a little bit of Harbaugh. I don't know. I'd be very fascinated to see what happens because I do like Scadaboo and I do like Jackson Dart. And I think those are real pieces. So,
yeah. So, I mean, that division was obviously really bad overall. So
yeah.
Every single team, you feel like underachieved or would be expected to improve this coming year. So it'll be interesting to see who actually does and who doesn't.
I mean, you put your money on Washington, right? Like the Commanders. You would.
I don't know. Like, I would think so, but when I think about it, they just don't feel like the team that is gonna get back there. Like, it just seems like something's broken. Like, I think I would pick the Cowboys over them because Dak had such a good year. If they can fix the defense.
Well, they did fire Eberflus.
That's true.
Eberflus is gone. Although I heard he was he interviewing for the Baltimore job? He was interviewing for another DC job, I think.
I mean, if you're him,
in American football,
you're going to take any interview you can get.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
For him, yes, absolutely. But I don't know.
All right. What else do we have to talk about? Well, like I said, we'll see if we do something next week.
Gonna pick the Super Bowl?
Are we going to pick it?
I think we should.
I don't know if I'm prepared to pick it,
All
but
right.
that doesn't mean, I mean, my picks haven't been that great this year, so
Yeah.
who cares, right? I think, I do think the Patriots cover.
Yeah,
Um,
me too.
It's one game. The Seahawks are absolutely the better team.
Yep.
But there's a lot of, you get that extra week of prep.
Mhm.
The pressure obviously goes up. Not really more for one team or the other. I think both head coaches are very like even keel and they'll have everyone ready to go. I do think it could go either way. So 4.5 seems to be a lot. I think it's fair, but you know, again,
Agreed.
like 4.5 can be a ton depending how the game plays out. The Rams, in a way, sort of had no business winning that game, and they still only lost by 4, right? So, yeah, I'll go Patriots to cover, but I don't know I don't know who's gonna win.
I'm the same way. I think this will be a good game. I like the Patriots to cover. I have no idea who will win. If Sam Darnold puts up a stat line like he did against the Rams, something like 385 yards, 3 touchdowns, and I don't think he had any picks. I like the Seattle. I think Seattle wins. If Darnold can perform like that, I think Seattle probably wins.
Here's something that I didn't really analyze, but it crossed my mind. So you remember when the Vikings played the Seahawks this year? Vikings, Brosmer started. They didn't have a prayer of winning, but first quarter they blitzed Darnold. They sacked him like 6 times in the first quarter, something like that. Seahawks didn't have a point, but the Vikings couldn't score either. So eventually the Seahawks end up blowing them out. But the Vikings basically said, "Hey, here's the book on Darnold if you guys want to make him not very good," and they blitzed him a lot. Has anyone blitzed him a lot in the playoffs?
You know what? I haven't paid close enough attention to them, but it feels like Vrabel is the type of coach who would not ignore that, right?
For sure.
So, and again, if you're this, that's your job as the CEO, executive coach, is to be like, oh, these are the deficiencies of the other team. Defensive coordinator, go focus on, like, put the game plan. He should be architecting that game plan. And that's why I hate, have issues with coaches who are like, I'm an offensive guy, I'm a defensive guy, and kind of ignore the other side of the ball, because that's not their job. They're not the coordinator. Their job is to put everything on the table.
Right.
So anyway, I
So
have no idea, but
whatever.
wow.
I just looked up like best stats or best QB rating, I guess, against the blitz this year. So Darnold is 11th, which is not bad. It's top, well, whatever, it's top half of the league, but for a quarterback on a Super Bowl team, you kind of expect that to be higher, right?
Who's number one?
Drake May's number 1. So very interesting. I don't know, like it seems like, well, based on that, it seems like Drake May is going to be more kind of calm under pressure and like make better decisions. I feel like if the Patriots can blitz Darnold effectively, like that's definitely the book. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Again, there's so much more. Like there's so much more you can do with an extra week of prep. So who does more with that? We'll see. That's about all I got. So we both think the Patriots cover. But I don't know who wins. I guess I don't know. I'm just gonna say the Patriots probably cover.
Yes, that's what I'm comfortable saying. I don't want to pick a winner. I'm really uninterested in another Patriots dynasty, though. I gotta be honest with you.
Yeah, and
a little tired of that.
This is the rematch of the Seahawks throw the ball and
Malcolm
get it picked
Butler.
off. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that I was not a Seahawks fan. I'm not, but man, that one still smarts for all of us. I think. What an incredibly awful play.
Yeah, and
to
then
be right on the goal line.
another thing they've been making a lot of is when Darnold was with the Jets, he had a start against the Patriots where he had 4 picks and like, I don't know, less than 100 yards passing maybe. I don't know why. Like, I think he's probably played the Patriots a few times since then. So I'm not sure what the significance of that is other than just he had a really, really bad game against the Patriots. So the reporters are always going to try to find that spot where you really sucked and bring it up and see how you handle it, like put more pressure on these guys. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I just think I do think it should be a close game. Both teams deserve to be there. I don't know. Go Vikings.
Go Bears.